Hi, today's activity is a literacy activity, and I hope that you will love it as much as I and my students do. Early in my career, I was teaching fourth grade, and I noticed that there was quite a handful of students who had not mastered phonics. And I just didn't know what to do, so I went to our program specialist and explained the situation. It didn't seem sound that I would take the phonics programs that the primary grades were using and use it with my upper grade students. So, I went for help, and this is what she said. Deneen, if students haven't learned phonics by third grade, they're just not going to learn it. I can't hold it against her because at that time, that was the best knowledge she had. But anyone who is a gardener or a parent knows that we bloom when we're going to bloom, and it all happens at different times. When in education is there some rule that says if you haven't learned it by here, you're never going to learn it? So I went on a search, and this is who I found: Patricia Cunningham and Dorothy Hall. And I can honestly say that I have never read one of their books that I don't absolutely love. So the book that I'm going to be sharing with you today, books, is called Making Words, and then they've also written a second book called Making Big Words for upper grade. And of course, I can't find mine anywhere right now. You know I'll find it tomorrow though, but it's okay because both books work the same. I use this as a whole class activity the first couple months of school, and once the students are trained professionals in making words, then I move it to a literacy center. But I will tell you that I've noticed that I need to keep the enthusiasm going with this by periodically doing it as a whole group. If I don't do that, the enthusiasm tends to wane, and I want students to be on fire for making words and vocabulary and phonics. So just every now and then, do a whole group, and they'll be happy all year long. I use my fun shaped magnetic letters to model for my students. I have both foam and wooden magnetic letters. I also have a set of these magnetic tile letters that I love to use. But you don't have to buy any of these materials because these ladies have provided us with the letters in the back of the book that we can just photocopy. And in this book, the letters are rather large, and in the Making Big Words, the letters are small. And in fact, they put strips. So like this is lesson 1, and then it'll be lesson 2, lesson 3, lesson 4, all the way down. And you just make a photocopy of each page, that page for all of your class, and then the students just cut a strip off as we go. And you see they cut the letters apart, and then that's what they use to form their letters, their words. But I will caution you that with the B's, the P's, the N's, and the U's, please, before you photocopy them, underline them so that they'll know it's a P and not a B, or an N and not a U. So I used these paper letters for over 26 years. And last year I had a wonderful mom who said, "Mrs. Matsuda, is there anything you need?" And I had been watching on Amazon this set of letter tiles, and I said, "Actually, there is. Would you be willing to buy us some tiles?" And she said, "I'd be happy to." And they came in this nice reusable tub, and they look like this. And it just feels more kinesthetic. It's something that it's not a flat piece of paper. And so this is what I'm using. Actually, this year I splurged and bought a second set so that I could have even more letters. And this is how I store them. I give each student a bin with a handful of these little tiles, and then I have this extra bin here so that if they have a letter, or if they're missing a letter from their bin, they can just come get it. And you only need, it's a pair activity, partner activity. You only need enough for every 2 students in your class. So you have to teach your students not to use proper nouns, not to use inappropriate words. I'm sorry, but we do have to teach that. And then I model on the big whiteboard what letters they will use, and then they form their letters in the same pattern that I have, which, as you can see, is vowels first alphabetically and then consonants alphabetically. And then you start teaching them, and I spend weeks doing this with them so that they learn the phonics pattern. So we start with word families. So I might start with at. And what can we do with at? So at is a word, and they will write their words on a piece of paper, or the other thing they love to do is to write their words on their desks with dry erase markers. And I teach them that I want them to find 20 words before they look for the big word. Because you see, there is one word that utilizes all of the letters given. But if they go straight to the big word, they will miss out on all the rich phonics lessons. And that's the whole point of this, is the phonics of it. So, occasionally there'll be a set of letters that you cannot find 10 words, or 20 words, but I have them do the best that they can. So they will write down all of these words. So there's at, there's bat, there's pat. Oh, I can do the eat family. Oh, I'm dropping my eat. Oh, stop. I got it back. I found the E. So there's my eat family. And what can I do with that? I can do Pete, like in Pete Moss, heat, beat, and it goes on and on. Oh, I can take this away and I can do pee. I can do plea. So you see, you just really focus on the word families, and it is such an excellent phonics lesson, and it is outstanding for our English language learners as well. And while I'm circulating around, if I see a group that has found a word that I've noticed nobody else has found, I forgot about tea. We can't forget about tea. We teachers thrive on hot tea as a comfort drink, comfort food. But when I find a word that the others haven't found, I'll throw it on the whiteboard, and then they get really excited. They love that recognition of knowing that they found something that others couldn't. Now, you also have to teach them, and this is the hardest part. They have to calm down when they find the big word. They're so excited. And once that happens, if they blurt it out, it essentially ruins the rest of the activity for everyone else. They have stolen the knowledge. They have stolen the learning experience from the others. And I tell them that. And you'll see them like this, and occasionally one will mess up, but we're a room of grace, and we forgive, and if that happens, it only happens once, right? They only make that mistake one time. Just go on to the next lesson. The word that the big word of that one was alphabet. So I bet some of you even saw that. If you're nervous about, am I going to see the patterns? Am I going to see the word families? These ladies have written each lesson out for us to give us all the word families and ideas of teaching phonics with it. And that is making words and making big words. It's a whole group and a literacy centers activity that lasts all year long. I mean, this is a center that I keep going all year long. I don't have to change one thing about it. So I hope you will give it a try, and I hope that you will love it, and your students will grow as word builders and phonics learners. Until next week, I wish you best, and I wish you courage for the week to come. Goodbye.